Looks like all systems are go. Let's begin the show. And we're here. Hi, I see you. Well, you see me. I can't see you through that because that's just a camera. But I know you're here. I see a bunch of people in the building, so to speak. That's a euphemism or a metaphor or something like that. Oh, I never reset this thing. Here, let me reset this. No one's been on Streamlabs so long. I haven't had to reset the labels for a while because everyone's using YouTube Super Chats. That's okay. I don't care how you sponsor the show. If you sponsor the show, it makes me happy because, oh my gosh, this truck of mine is killing me. Anyway, that's between me and my truck. Hi, how you doing? It's Thursday. What is it? Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. FTG Thursday. And I it's not so much an FTG Thursday because I'm mostly talking about one person today. And that would be the big guy. You know who the big guy is, right? You know, the big guy. And because he had an event yesterday on This Is CNN. And it was a town hall. And I was like, I kind of hate the town hall concept anyway, because I think they're just bullshit. They come in and they give a whole bunch of pre-selected questions and they probably tip them off in advance, especially this big guy, because this big guy is not very good off the cuff. And he's not even very good on the cuff, even when he has a teleprompter, because he just gets lost. Like, kind of like, I had a great aunt. Well, actually, two of my great aunts and my grandmother all, went through that beginning stage of dementia. It's him. It's exactly like him. It's unreal that people don't understand this, but, well, they don't want to understand it. But I think the foreign leaders and media and stuff see it and kind of just try to pretend it's not there. But it's there. But anyway, last night they gave him sufficient amounts of whatever it is. They get him to, concentrate for more than 20 minutes, and he did okay. But he still had some of those Biden moments, and we're gonna go through a little bit of this town hall from yesterday. Now, I tried to watch it for a little bit, but I'm just going to stick to other people's reactions because, as you can see from the picture, I fell asleep. It was just that bad. And plus, it was Don Lemon. And someone mentions, Biden said something about Don Lemon being one of the most informed news people in America. And I'm like, who? Don Lemon? Ha! Don Lemon, did the missing plane fly through a black hole? Don Lemon? And I don't mean Don Lemon's black hole. Did I say that out loud? Ew. I should never mention that. You know what? I'm going to play the intro and we'll come back while I recover from what I just said. I'm here with my cup of reparations. Oh, I should probably refill. I don't think I can do that in a minute. But anyway, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Okay, how about we stop the music? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Thursday, the 22nd of July, 2021, and in case you're wondering, no, I'm not going to Chicago this weekend. I don't know why you would have been wondering that. One of my friends, a very good friend from college, invited me to come visit in Chicago, and we can't swing it. I didn't realize how much we spent on this patio and landscaping over after the last few weeks, and it was a doozy. Plus the engagement party for my daughter. So we're gonna lay low for a while, maybe not take any trips and just chill at home and enjoy the new resort feel of our backyard, which actually is very nice. I actually went in the pool again yesterday. So this summer, I've gone into our pool more than I probably have since we moved into this property 10 years ago. I think I've maybe been in the pool 3 times before that, because it was just too damn cold. But now that the heater works, I can go in the pool, and I went in there. Although we have a leak, and I don't like that. That's one of those things that could be another, one of the things. Anyway, so how's everyone doing today? It's Thursday, FTG Thursday. My brain's. I'm having a Biden moment.
You're a lying dog face.
That's right.
Whoops. Come on, man. There we go. I can't even hit the right button. You know the thing. Anyway, so yesterday, the most popularly elected president in U.S. history. I mean, this man got more votes than a president who got 8 million more votes the last time he was elected, or when he was elected. He got more votes than the anointed one, Barack Obama. He got more votes than any president in United States history. And last night he had a town hall on CNN where, they had an audience. And, but the audience was, well, let's just say the audience wasn't very extensive. So here's a picture. Now, I thought maybe, because I know that as I'm reading around the internet, they said maybe it was a small audience because of, some COVID restrictions or something like that. But then I look at this picture that I'll show you right here. This is the audience for a CNN town hall featuring the President of the United States, the most popularly elected president in the history of the world, at least of the United States, and with almost 88 million votes. Is that what they said he got, or something like 80 million votes, or some ridiculous number, 82 million votes, whatever it was. This is the audience for a town hall of the most popular president in U.S. history. Now, when they said it could be because of COVID restrictions, they kept the audience small. I was thinking to myself, if they were doing that, why is everybody in the audience sitting right here in the front and center with a few people off here to the side? Because they didn't even fill the side. Notice there's no one over here. See my cursor? Can you see my cursor? I don't even know if you can see my cursor. Is it even on there? I can't tell. Maybe you can't. If you look to the right, they even kept the front rows more empty over here. It looks like they got more people on the left. So when you look at this from the CNN perspective, let's see. Let me see if I can find the CNN perspective, because they do have a shot in one of these CNN pictures. Where is it? Nope. The CNN pictures are all showing just him and Dom Lemon up on stage. There's one where you can see where the camera angles. So if you're looking for the camera angles that CNN used, the cameras are pointing right to the middle of that. So there's that audience sitting in front. It looks like the place is packed, right? It looks like the place is just packed. And yet this is what it really looked like from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with this guy in that row. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 empty rows of people. Probably on both sides of here. Because they told everyone to look at the movie in the front to make it look like everyone's in it. But a couple of news people, and I don't think these news people who put this picture out are necessarily, people who don't like Biden. Jennifer Epstein, she's where's she from? White House reporter at Bloomberg News. That's a Biden-friendly news outlet. Well, Dinesh D'Souza, he's not Biden-friendly. Who else? Mark Simone. Let's see. He's a radio TV host, number one show on WLR New York City. You know that's a Biden-friendly outlet. But they're all showing this. CNN was careful not to show that no one showed up for the Biden town hall and that most of the room was empty. Now, I don't know if he's a Biden-friendly person, but that's amazing. Now, the other thing I noticed, because I went to look for the full video of this, because I wanted to watch, try and watch it at a time where I could stay awake. And as I'm searching, so I go to YouTube, I go to CNN's YouTube page, right? And I thought maybe, because a lot of times they'll post these things right on the front page. They'll have the recap of the whole thing. And as I guess maybe perhaps not on their YouTube page. So I'm looking here, all these videos are short. So I went to that page and this is what I found there. Okay, look, I understand maybe they wouldn't have the entire town hall on here. But right now on the CNN YouTube page, there's nothing. There's nothing, not even a mention of this. Now, CNN, let's do a search here. We'll go back to CNN because CNN, I believe, has other channels. Let's see if I can find one here. That's CNN I was just on. Don't they have breaking news or something like that? This town hall is nowhere to be found, and I don't know why. Now, I do CNN, so we'll try CNN Biden. Okay, there's this is him cracking a joke. You would think the most recent thing would be on here. No, not there. So let's go CNN Biden town hall. Now here is, someone here, this is not even a CNN, but, wait a minute. I got to laugh because JoeBiden.com or Joe Biden YouTube channel has something about it. Here's some guy saying President Biden travels to Cincinnati. Okay. That's just showing him getting on the plane to leave. Nothing here on CNN, but here is one. Joe Biden, that's his official Joe Biden YouTube channel for the Biden campaign. And here's the title. Top Moments Joe Biden Crushed It at CNN Town Hall. So let's look at what they think Biden crushed it on. I'm curious. Are you curious? I am certainly curious. But before we watch this, I must say good morning to my friends, you who are watching today, because we're gonna just look at different reactions to his town hall, and then later there's a few news items about a lot about the January 6th stuff. I kind of stuck with that today, and just a few other items we'll try to get to. But before I do that again, I have to say good morning. Hello, everyone in the chat. First in the chat today was Jonathan Peterson, who gets the bell. Thank you for joining us today, Jonathan Peterson, and being so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Also, good morning to Gunfox61, who just missed it by that much, but Gunfox, the administrator of our Discord server. And yes, I saw lots of news plus something you're looking at. Well, tell me what you're looking into. I'll try to get to those DMs as soon as I can, Gunfox. Also, good morning to Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And good morning, Maddie, our news aficionado, who she has a great site too. Check out her MWN media site. Good morning, Lurking Gopher. My favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies in the house. Also, good morning to Humble Clay. What's up? Wikipedia snippet. Hello. Good morning to who else is here? Green Badger Outdoors. Jesse Leon. Let's see. Spam bot 22. Hello. I said just then. James PFP. What up? The Bosch Tubes here early. Nice to see you. And your ridiculous lunatics in the house. That's a name, not a statement. Also, good morning to Infamous One. And who else? Lord Stanhope's in the house. Nice to see you. And I think is that it? That could be it. There's probably some down here that I haven't seen yet that just got here. Oh yes. TOS, Shrooms in the house. Nice to see you. And Attack Alpaca. And I think that's pretty close to everybody, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. At least everyone who's chatting so far. Black Hebrew is your light.
That's right.
Avocados Diablos in the house. All right. So I think I'm caught up now. So let's look at what see what the top moments are according to the Joe Biden YouTube page. Now, interesting, this video on Joe Biden YouTube video page has 43,584 views as of right now, which I will be 43,585. Right now, the ratio on it, 1,800 dislikes, 1,800 likes, 2,000 dislikes, which is pretty average for the Biden YouTube channel. It's usually about 50-50. Well, no, actually, it's usually about 80-30 dislikes to likes, but this one's about half and half. Let's see what they believe are Biden's top moments from this town hall. All right, let's move this over. All right, here we go. Let's see what they think are the top moments from the CNN town hall. Crushed it, because they're saying top moments, Joe Biden crushed it at the CNN town hall. Let's see what they did here. Let's see what they think, where they think he crushed it. Dramatic music.
I really do view this campaign as a campaign between Scranton and Park Avenue. My dad came up here.
Wait, whoa. Was that? Wait, what? What the hell did he just? This is this is a minute 51 of his top moments. What did he say? Let's listen to this again.
I really do view this campaign as a campaign between Scranton and Park Avenue.
Oh, no, wait a minute. This isn't even last night's town hall. Okay, I'm getting pissed. This is from September 21, 2020. Wait a minute. They don't even, 10 months ago? Do they have anything from yesterday's town hall on this? Even on YouTube's not showing it. Now, here's the other part that really got to me. Okay, never mind. That's the wrong damn thing. Hello, Straight Sith Male. Nice to see you. Welcome. And Asian Research Directorate. So look, let's go. I'm going to go back here because I'm going to go to this is my YouTube homepage. Okay. Now, usually after these types of, so these are just some of the things that they suggest to me on YouTube, right? And I come down here to top news. Now, normally on a day after something like this, in this little top news section, there would be something about a damn town hall from last night, like a link to it. President Biden tours the Cincinnati Union Trade Center. That's from 13 hours ago. Pelosi rejects two of the 5 Republican appointees on January 6th committee. That's from 37 minutes ago. China rejects WHO plan for study of COVID-19 origin because they don't want to check it out that lab. Not anything about Biden thanks Fox News Republicans for changing vaccine tune 2 hours ago. Not from that. Where is the town hall? Not to be found on that's usually big news, right? All right, so let's try something else. Let's go to CNN. This is CNN. This is CNN Politics, right? CNN Politics. CNN town hall with President Biden. Now, it's weird because they only show a minute 45 of this, but they have a few articles that they put up last night. Key takeaways from CNN town hall with President Biden. Now, why don't they just put out the video of the town hall? Now, they may be planning on doing that later. Do they have other channels that they might put this kind of stuff on? I don't know. But here's what they say. President Biden took questions tonight at CNN's town hall in Ohio on a number of key issues affecting Americans today. He talked about infrastructure, voting rights, the economy, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Biden also blasted critics who continue to downplay the January 6th insurrection. Now, just a side note from me, Dawg Knight, about people who supposedly are downplaying the January 6th insurrection. I don't think there are some who downplay that event. I think only in the context of the fact that rather than calling it a insurrection, they just call it a riot, which is what it was. It was not a planned. Well, not completely. There was some planning going on, but we're not 100% sure about what happened and who was planning it, because it seems like there might have been some nefarious interaction through agencies that have multiple alphabet names that were probably helping out with some of the so-called planning and whatever. But to call it other than a riot of some people out there who got out of hand, and deservedly, many of them who fought with police should be prosecuted for what they did and blah, 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 blah. They're milking this for all it's worth. And it's, since they haven't charged anyone with sedition or insurrection, it's somewhat becoming a propaganda thing, if you ask me, because there's so little concern for all the other riots and devastation and all the things that have happened, all the other protests that have gotten out of hand near the Capitol and during the White House, and all the stuff that happened this last year as far as the BLM protests and riots and the continual riots in many cities all around the country. To call this particular event any other than another riot, but just by the wrong people apparently, is overplaying it, even though it happened at the Capitol during this, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. This was Trump supporters, so it makes it much worse, right? It's they're building this narrative of all people who are on the right or Trump supporters or even just Republicans or whatever are dangerous. But they're not downplaying what actually happened. There was violence. There were people pushing back on police officers. Did anyone go out and murder police officers like over the last year? 30, what is it? Or just murder people in general, like something that happened in most of these riots. But, and the fact that I'm going with if it's whataboutism, it's whataboutism because of the scale of death and destruction in comparison to this 2.5 hour event that they're talking about. Okay? But I digress. Let's continue on this article. In case you missed tonight's town hall, here are some of the key takeaways. Infrastructure. Biden said he believes that the current infrastructure bill will move forward after Monday's procedural vote. He went on to say that he still believes bipartisanship can produce results in Congress, but conceded that the Trump era did severe damage to working across the aisle. Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, because there there were some people who wouldn't work. There were some people during the Trump era that had no interest in working across the aisle. Was that Trump's fault, or was that who was it? You know, they try to take away the filibuster. They keep talking about wanting to take away the filibuster. Who used the filibuster during the Trump era? Because I believe the Republicans were the majority in the Senate. So that so-called bipartisan damage to bipartisanship, that was your party, Joe. But anyway, voting rights and the filibuster. Oh, that's the next topic. Biden also said that he wants to sign federal voting rights with GOP support. Federal voting rights. Well, we already have federal voting rights, and the voting mechanisms and rules and laws are in the states, not in the federal government. But he wants to do it with GOP support. Biden acknowledged that the rule is what? The rule is a relic of the Jim Crow era? Is he talking about the filibuster? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, and they link to a short history of the long conservative assault on black voting power. Oh my God. You know, the filibuster was a tool Democrats used to fight the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In fact, the man who Joe Biden gave a eulogy for at his funeral was one
Blue 42!
A fraction of a football team is
the
just
hell
a
is
guy
that?
yelling at a ball.
What the hell?
But a fraction
Shut
of-
up. Where'd that come? Is that, oh my God, did CNN like do an autoplay on some shit? Where did that come from? My God. Was it this one? All right, anyway, hopefully that goes away. The filibuster was something that Democrats used to fight the Civil Rights Act. And one of the main guy was Robert Byrd, who was like prolific at using the filibuster. Oh my God, it's embarrassing. Did that thing go away yet? Okay, it went away. Good, I turned it back up. Okay, let's go back to this though. It's a relic of the Jim Crow era, but added there's no reason to protect it other than you're going to throw the entire Congress into chaos and nothing will get done. Nothing at all will get done. And there's a lot at stake. What a crock of shit. I didn't want to swear, but I am. That's amazing. The filibuster's been around since since Congress was created, and it was made. In fact, it used to be you had to have not just 60 votes. You used to have 2/3 votes to break a filibuster, and that rule got changed. I want to say in the 30s or something like that to 60 votes, but no, it's in place because we don't want just a straight up democracy in this country, because straight up democracy again is two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. We need this purpose of the Senate is to slow down bad legislation or legislation that could cause problems in the future. Because yes, sure, if you put one party in power and they only need to have that 50.5% majority, and they push through you could just vote for people who will give you money and give you other people's money. We don't need that. Yeah, it used to be 67 in the Senate. Yeah, it was like 2/3 or something like that. Anyway, on the economy, he said fears about inflation are legitimate, but added that he believes the chances of long-term inflation are slim. Really? Because the economists are saying otherwise, especially with this crazy-ass $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill that you're pushing. That's probably going to get through on some procedural bullshit. The vast majority of the experts, including Wall Street, are suggesting that it is highly unlikely that it's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. False. Plus also the fact that people aren't going back to work. By the way, jobless claims are up in the last economic reports, which is unfathomable when states are actually opening up, businesses are starting to actually open up, and jobless claims are higher than they were. I wonder if it's because some businesses didn't make it. And when you have fewer people producing and selling goods and services, what happens to those goods and services? Supply and demand. Demand higher, supply lower. That's how you get inflation. And the Biden administration is restricting certain parts of the economy that are essential for most people right now. Gasoline, oil, that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. He says all the experts. I'd like you to name which experts you're talking about there, Joe. Anyway, he said there will be near-term inflation because everything is now trying to be picked back up. He added the president also said certain hospitality industries may continue to struggle. I think your business and the tourist business is really going to be in a bind for a little while, Biden told the owner and co-founder of a restaurant group. Interestingly enough, because we thought we were going to try to go to Chicago this weekend, I mentioned that before, and we were looking at the cost of flights. Oh my gosh. Now, usually, because Minneapolis and Chicago, there's daily flights probably every 2 hours, multiple airlines. And usually those flights are pretty cheap. You can get a good weekend rate to go to Chicago for sometimes under $100. No. The cheapest round trip tickets we found were over like $300 right now. And then we looked at renting a car because sometimes now I've been able not even a year ago, or was it 2 years ago? 2019, we rented a car for a trip that when we went to California because we rented a vehicle. And even renting a car, first of all, there were hardly cars to take because they didn't have much selection. For some reason, if you tried to rent a car from Friday to Sunday, there were none available if you tried to get them early in the morning. But also, the prices for renting a car have just about doubled compared to what I'm used to. And I was like, damn, because we don't want to take one of our vehicles because one, my truck needs a new engine and my wife's car has a suspension problem. So we're got to get those fixed before we go on any long trip. So we're going to just rent a car. Holy shit, the cost to rent a car has almost doubled. At least what we were trying to do. Anyway, the January 6th insurrection. They need to stop calling it a fucking insurrection. Oh, I swore again. Damn. They need to stop calling it that. There was no insurrection. Okay? It was not an insurrection. It was not an attempt to take over the United States government through for violent means. It was not. All it was, they were objecting to the vote on the people who got out of hand, objecting to the vote because they believed that there should be more audits. But they weren't trying to stop our democracy. They weren't trying to have a coup. But they wanted their voices heard, and they got out of hand. Riot. Stop calling it a freaking insurrection. An insurrection is an armed conflict plan. They didn't have a plan. It's not an insurrection without a plan. And most of the people just went in because they got through some open doors, even if some jackholes broke some of the doors and windows. But in general, most of the people who went into that building went through open doors. In fact, some of the most notorious of the ones who are being prosecuted stopped and talked with the Capitol Police, who let them in if they promised not to be overly rowdy. They literally, there's video of them talking to the police who let them in as long as they were orderly. Anyway, but Biden continued to call for an investigation into the January 6th insurrection, saying, I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnate. I haven't heard anybody say that one yet, but that's interesting. The fact is, you can't look at that television and say nothing happened on the 6th. Oh, straw man. That seems to be a straw man. Nobody says nothing happened on the 6th. In fact, most people acknowledge there was a riot. There was a riot just like there was a riot during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. There was a riot just like during the riots during the summer. There was a riot just like outside the White House when they tried to burn. They set a guard shack on fire and attempted to breach the White House and tried to set a church on fire. And there's billions of dollars of damage throughout the country, and they tried to breach a federal building in Seattle and in Portland. And yes, it was a riot. It was a bad thing. Prosecute the guys who obviously were fighting with police officers. But holy shit. No one's saying, no, I haven't heard anyone say nothing's happened. Now, some have made some, not just hyperbolic statements, I would say foolhardy statements saying, oh, it was just some people touring the White House. No, it was more than that. I mean, and don't say that shit. That is downplaying it. So I take back what I said earlier. Some people are downplaying it. But some of you assholes, I'm just going to let go, I don't care, are overplaying it, clearly. Anyway, immigration. Biden once again pledged to fight for DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, telling CNN's Don Lemon that he's not letting this go. While speaking about Dreamers, Biden sternly said, they come here with really no choice, and they're good people. Oh, what do you mean they have no choice? Oh, the Dreamers that came with their parents or got sent by themselves? You mean those people? Yeah, I guess it's not really their fault they're here, but funny, is that all they talked about with immigration? They didn't talk about the fact that, 150,000 people a month are coming across the border? Did they talk about that? Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Now, not everything's flowers and roses, because these are the key takeaways, but there was, even CNN noticed something here. And this is, of course, now they talked to this crazy woman about this. But here it is, CNN. Biden led people astray with COVID-19 answers, CNN medical analyst says. Oh. Wait till we're gonna see one of his more ridiculous attempts at an answer, because he got through most of this town hall without too many flubs, but there were flubs, and one of them was been repeated over and over on Twitter. Anyway, Biden's answer to COVID-19 on Stupid 19 during tonight's CNN town hall were disappointing and did not meet the changing realities of what's happening on the ground, CNN medical analyst Dr. Leanna Wen said. Now, she's a psychopath as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, DACA, it was unconstitutional. It certainly was. And it got struck down in one court, and obviously that's going to make its way through the courts. But the idea that President Obama could just write a law out of thin air is a little bit a problem in our system of government. There are no kings who can decree certain laws, and that's kind of what happened there. Anyway, back to this. I was actually disappointed by President Biden's answers tonight, she said. I actually thought he was answering questions as if it were a month ago. Oh, interesting. Hello, Jaded Emerald. And Fight for Your Rights also. In particular, Wen took issue with Biden's incorrect claims that you cannot contract COVID-19 or the Delta variant if you are vaccinated. Quote, we're not in a position where we think that any virus, including the Delta virus, which is much more transmissible and more deadly in terms of non-vaccinated people. More deadly? I thought it was, wait a minute, what? I thought in the UK they said the Delta variant wasn't as deadly but more transmissible. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Well, anyway, the various shots that people are getting now cover that. Oh, this is what Biden said. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations, Biden said during the town hall. Now, the facts of that, before I even read what she said, they don't prevent you from getting the virus. In theory, and that's what they're saying is that if you are vaccinated, you still could possibly, there's a chance you get the virus, but less likely to get severe symptoms and or die from the virus. That's what they're saying right now. Anyway, Wen told CNN's Anderson Cooper that many unknown answers remain related to Stupid 19 and that it is still not known how well protected vaccinated individuals are from mild illness. Okay, so from mild illness. Stop scaring people, Dr. Wen. We actually don't know the answers to a lot of questions. He was talking about if you get the vaccine, you're well protected from having severe disease. That's true, but we actually don't know how well you're protected from mild illness and whether with the Delta variant, if you're vaccinated, could you still be contagious to other people? We do not know the answer to that, and I actually thought it was irresponsible, Wen said. We know that the vaccine reduces your likelihood of carrying the virus and the amount of the virus that you could carry, but with the Delta variant, a person infected with the Delta variant carries 1,000 times the amount of the virus compared to previous variants. And what does that mean? And so that's the problem. We don't actually know about this transmission question, she continued. Wen went on to say that Biden had actually led people astray when he said, if you're vaccinated, you could take off your mask. She said, well, fuck, that's the truth. Look, if you're vaccinated and your worst thing that could happen is you might get mild illness, then yeah, take off your mask. It's fine. I don't know. That's just, we don't know that, she said. I think he let go of a very important opportunity tonight. Whatever. And then there's other stuff in here. But anyway, let's go into some other things about this because we're not going to stick just to what CNN says because this is CNN. But I will leave this article up that they link to, the short history of the conservative assault on black voting power. It's funny that they say conservative assault. And in fact, so they're mad that people are making rules about voting. I'm sorry, it's stupid. Okay, let's go. There was another part of this in the town hall from last night. Gosh darn it! Come on, here we go. This is the part that they mention. Joe Biden predicts restaurants and businesses will be in a bind for some time due to labor shortages. Now, labor shortages don't help inflation either because places that have to pay more in overtime and whatever have to raise prices to cover that kind of stuff too. Interesting. Joe Biden conceded during the CNN town hall Wednesday that certain businesses will remain in a bind for a little while. A little while? What's a little while what's a little while if you can't feed your family? You know what I mean? Will be in a bind for a little while with labor shortages, a part of a major set of problems that's unfurling as his 6-month-old presidency reaches a critical juncture. Stupid 19 cases are rising, a testament to a vaccination effort that has stalled amid waves of disinformation and skepticism. Okay. Another reason there's some skepticism because we had all these mask mandates. Remember when the mask mandates were all the rage and still the cases kept rising and rising and rising? Maybe that's part of the skepticism too, that these workers don't know what the hell they're talking about. Anyway, pent-up demand has caused an uptick in prices. An uptick? You mean inflation that we haven't seen in more than 25 years or whatever it is? Oh my God. An uptick in prices leading to concerns over inflation. Yes, they're just concerns. Some people are kind of panicked about it. And Biden's much touted bipartisan infrastructure deal remains in a state of limbo as Republicans and Democrats rush to finalize the plan. Much touted. Oh, so 3 Republicans voted for it? Okay, I got you. Good morning, King. Asked by a restaurateur about how the federal government will incentivize returns to work among industries with labor shortages, okay, I got a question about that question. Biden said, I think it really is a matter of people deciding now that they have opportunities to do other things. What? What? Like what? Sit on their ass because they're still getting extra unemployment benefits? Anyway, and there's a shortage of employees. People are looking to make more money and to bargain. And so I think your business and the tourist business is really going to be in a bind for a little while. Biden continued. And also because no one's working, they're not going on vacations. Biden's visit to Ohio, a state that voted for former President Donald Trump in last year's election, is a part of a pattern of visiting red-leaning areas to promote popular proposals like a child tax credit or free community college. Yeah, let's just give away more free shit and give away more money and print more money to give away because that'll help inflation a lot, won't it, Joe? I just realized I didn't put this on the screen. Upon his arrival in Cincinnati, Biden toured a union training center for electrical workers, part of his effort to highlight the well-paying union jobs he says his economic plan will help create. Yeah, temporary, if you're talking about, infrastructure, all those jobs will be temporary, won't they? He visited Ohio 3 times since taking office, Michigan and Pennsylvania as his most visited states, excluding Delaware, where he spends many weekends. So he's spending a lot of time in the swing states. That's unusual for a president to do, isn't? Anyway, the president promoted his economic recovery plans, but downplayed inflation, of course, and job shortages, of course, saying to the town hall audience that Mount St. Joseph University that the economy is picking up significantly. Mostly in states where they've opened up and allowed things to work, whatever. A vast majority of the and then this vast majority of experts claim again, which is again, he'll just say anything he believes or says or does, he'll claim that all the experts are saying what he's saying. All of them. Yep, all of them. And that's Trump did that, and Obama did that, and they all think all the experts are agreeing with him. I wish that all of these presidents, regardless if they're Republican or Democrat, would also listen to the experts that don't agree with them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they need to hear what other people are thinking, and I think they tend to just be myopic on who they listen to. But all right, enough of this. I'll leave these links open. They'll be in the tabs. Let's see what some people said as far as that don't necessarily do fellatio on the president of the United States. I don't know how much. I don't know if this one's going to stay monetized. I don't know. Anyway, this is from the American Thinker. Biden drifts off. Here, let me fit on the screen. Biden drifts off answering a question during CNN's town hall with Don Lemon and appears to listen to an earpiece to get out of his hidden incoherent ramble. By the way, if you haven't liked this stream yet, maybe I'll just swear more and you'll hit the like button. Hit the like button, share the stream, sponsor the show. This show needs sponsors. Biden drifts off answering a question during CNN's town hall. Shocker. We've all seen this before. As every leader of every country in the world, a sitting president of the United States cannot put together a coherent answer to a simple question. He pauses, appears puzzled, and then comes up with a string of words that appear to have entered his brain via an earpiece. If the stakes weren't so high, it would be comic. Wednesday saw the president of the United States engage in a town hall format discussion on friendly territory with Don Lemon moderating on CNN. It must have been one of those good days that dementia sufferers sometimes enjoy. In Biden's case, meaning no lid was called at removing the leader of the free world from public scrutiny. Calling a lid is an unprecedented admission that the POTUS is not in the full command of his mental facilities and would have Democrats demanding that the 25th Amendment be invoked if a Republican were in office. But Republicans are far too polite and far too scared of the media to make an issue of it with Biden. Even with the friendliest, least demanding moderator imaginable, Don Lemon, it was a challenge for President Joe Biden to get through the entire hour. His handlers must have believed that with familiar questions and maybe a good earpiece helping him along, he could handle the challenge. They were wrong. Asked an unchallenging question of 12-year-olds and vaccinations, he drifted off in the middle of a sentence and, as he often does, looked down, got that Deliverance banjo player look on his face, and appeared to be listening to something in an earpiece, and then strung together a sequence of words that were not grammatically related to the rest of the sentence, but which on their own, well, they were kind of coherent, as if repeating what he just heard. So here's the clip. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'll have to refresh, and we'll play it. Here's his answer. Now remember, the question is, when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? That is the answer. That is the question. When will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? And here is the answer of the most popularly elected president in the history of the United States, the perfectly coherent, just a little stutter problem, he's had the stuttering problem his whole life, except when he was in the Senate, when he was vice president. No sundowners here. Here is the answer to when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? And the sound went away. What the bloody hell's going on here? We'll start this again. Let's try it again. All right.
And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are. Why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be. Or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved.
What the hell did he just say? Okay, wait a minute. Here's the question. The question is, when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? Again, what?
And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are. Why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be. Or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved. Yeah.
Okay, now here's the question for you in my audience. I know I didn't put him back on there, but let me ask. Okay, I'm gonna just read this answer because I'm not. Okay, the question: when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? Now, listen to this answer, and I'm gonna read this answer as he said it. Okay, and then and in the chat, I would like you to tell me when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated based on this answer. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where why can't the experts say, we know that this virus is in fact going to be, we know all the drugs are temporarily approved, but are permanently approved. Okay, chat, here's the answer in the chat as succinctly as possible. is the answer to the question, when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? Based on Joe Biden's answer, I'm going to keep talking while I'm waiting to see your answers, but there is an answer there somewhere. When will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? Ready? Go. Anyway, every head of government in the world knows that the president is not up to the job. Compassion demands that we urge him to resign and get the care that he needs. But common sense says that President Kamala Harris would be a worse disaster. And even Democrats know it, so we're stuck. We're stuck with this guy. Yeah, just saying, we're stuck with him. New York Post's reaction. He's no sellout, Biden speaks to a half-empty room at CNN town hall. President Biden on Wednesday spoke to a half-empty auditorium while doing a live CNN town hall event in Ohio. I still can't understand how the most popular president, most popularly elected president in the history of the all times ever, can't fill a town hall room that maybe holds, what is this? Okay, I said 14 rows times about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So maybe 140 people here. So 280 people on each side of these cameras. There's probably 100, maybe 100 people down here. How could they not get 500, fill this auditorium with 500 people? The most popularly elected president in the history of all times ever can't fill a room with it has 500-600 people auditorium for a town hall. Didn't Trump or somebody, what's the guy's, guy with funny hair, he just had rally in in Florida, didn't he have 10,000 people there or something? And I mean, a town hall with the president of the United States. Do you think, and again, they said, oh, well, it could be because of COVID-19 restrictions. Well, then why did they have everybody sitting in front like they're, it's a sardine can. Here's the picture again. As soon as it pops up here. They had everyone sitting right next to each other, right in front. See, they bunched them up so the cameras would be looking over them. They wanted this place look huge, right? Hello, Cracked. Hello, Johnny Blaze. Hello, Thomas Cleaver, who was first. Did they even try to fill it, though? I don't know. But I can't imagine. I think if you said Barack Obama is coming to our campus and he's going to do just a little question and answer session in the auditorium here, you'd fill the auditorium pretty easy. Did they try to fill it? I don't know. Did CNN specifically select people? I don't know if they even took questions from the audience. But anyway, the more than dozen empty rows weren't apparent to television viewers thanks to flattering shots that appeared to show a full non-distance crowd packing the front rows and a striking visual display of normalcy that after more than a year of COVID-19 restrictions. But members of the traveling White House press corps pool shared photos from the back of the room, revealing that, in fact, the venue was far from packed at Mount St. Joseph's University in Cincinnati. The other thing is, I'm sorry, maybe they didn't try to fill it. That's a good point, Advocatus Diaboli. But I can't imagine any president for the last 100 years not being able to fill that auditorium. So maybe they didn't try to fill it, but that's a really weird look. I'm sorry. And the fact that the media members that were the White House press corps who is sharing this are, let's just say, allies to the president. So it's pretty weird that they even showed that. Bloomberg reporter Jennifer Epstein, who traveled with Biden as a representative of wire services, tweeted an image of what the Biden CNN town halls looks like from the back of the auditorium. Voice of America reporter, another Biden ally, Steve Herman, the radio pool reporter for the trip, tweeted a similar image showing that the back of the auditorium is empty. Herman also published a video showing other angles where spectators were missing from seats. This is his stuff, and then he had... Here's a video of the audience in the partly filled auditorium of the town hall. We'll just play this. So they pushed everybody to the front seats so the CNN cameras could look over it. There's another bunch of seats back here. There's no one in here. And there's a balcony that's empty. I'm sorry. Either they it doesn't here's what I think. So, pause. It doesn't make any sense that they would restrict the number of attendees, but then just push them all to the front. It's weird. The crowd was probably handpicked, so only the most loyal idiots were allowed in. They couldn't chant someone being disrespectful to the most loved man ever. Yeah, that's probably a good point there, AD. Wow. The image of empty seats was discordant with Biden's attempt to project confidence in overcoming this coronavirus pandemic, including his assertion that this is not a pandemic. It's unclear if the room was half full due to concerns about the virus or lack of public interest. A White House official referred an inquiry to CNN. CNN spokeswoman Laura Protopus told the Post, this was a typical audience size for a CNN town hall. Really? She did not elaborate for the reason for the small crowd size. And then, of course, Donald Trump routinely mocked Biden during last year's presidential campaign for drawing small audiences even before the pandemic, compared to his own rallies that generally feature tens of thousands of fired up fans. Yeah, what an odd thing. So anyway, and then this is that's the picture again. Now, Daily Wire crushing it. Clip of Biden goes viral from CNN town hall event. That's the same one where he answered the question about when will children under 12 get vaccinated. Some of the responses, RNC research, watch Joe Biden struggle to keep his thoughts straight when talking about vaccines. This guy's our president, can't even complete a sentence. These are all anti-Biden people. Although Greenwald, he's just, I don't know where he is, but is there anyone willing to step forward with a straight face and say there's nothing wrong here? Now, he's definitely left-wing. I'm sure he prefers Biden over Trump, but I don't think he wanted Biden in the first place. Interesting. Other note, Dave Rubin, how is Don Lemon's follow-up question not, Joe, are you okay? Yeah, well, notice how listen to Don Lemon. Did they go that far? Don Lemon just kind of says okay. Here, and here's that clip again. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, it's a Daily Wire, so you have to go outside the Daily Wire. We'll just play the end of it and listen to Don Lemon with no follow-up on this.
Underway, just like the.
Okay, here's the.
That's underway too. I expect that to occur quickly.
Well, that means you mean for the FDA?
For the FDA, yeah. That's underway, just like the other question that's illogical. And I've heard you speak about it because I'm not being solicitous, but you.
Oh, this is the. Oh, I forgot about this part. This is a different part of the same question. Listen.
About what you're doing. That's underway, just like the other question that's illogical. And I've heard you speak about it because I'm not being solicitous, but you're always straight up about what you're doing. Yeah. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are. Why can't
that's the beginning of it.
The experts say we know that this virus is in fact
now listen to Don. Listen to Don.
It's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved but permanently approved. Yeah. That's underway too. I expect that to occur quickly.
Well, that means you mean for the FDA?
For the FDA. Yeah. That's
What the hell did he just say? And what is Don? If I was Don Lemon, I'd be like, what the hell did you just say? What the hell did you just say? What's that? You know that the game show guy from Billy Madison? We're all dumber for that answer. That's the way I feel about Joe Biden right now, and that's the way Don Lemon probably should have asked. You, sir, you collect no points and no something. May God have mercy on your soul. That guy. I mean, that was That was, what the hell? What the kind of an answer was that? And Don Lemon not following up or not asking for clarification, because the question was very specific. When will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated? Joe never answered that question. So lots of people criticizing that. All right. Now, and then here's the fact check from the right. We already got the CNN, goofy, crazy lady, Dr. Wen, talking about misinformation about COVID-19. But Breitbart also noticed, fact check, Joe Biden spreads misinformation about stupid 19 vaccines at CNN town hall. Claim, President Joe Biden claimed Wednesday, you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations. Verdict, partly false. Vaccine greatly reduce the probability of COVID infections, but do not eliminate it. Biden tried to address vaccine hesitancy at a town hall Wednesday. In doing so, he provided inaccurate information about the stabs, claiming falsely that vaccinated people cannot contract the virus. While the vaccines greatly reduce the chance of infection, the severity of illness, and the chances of hospitalization, they do not completely prevent infection. And there are examples of vaccinated individuals still contracting stupid 19. In fact, some of them work in Nancy Pelosi's office, thanks to Texas Democrats. Even CNN's post-event panel criticized Biden's claim, with Anderson Cooper saying it was just obviously not the case. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention states on the website, blah, 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 you can still get the disease. So, there's the Breitbart version. Finally, let's move on, because I need to get away from this town hall. Because this is an interesting question, too, regarding the so-called insurrection. Is Joe Biden, the president of the United States, and our executive branch and those agencies that with the alphabet letters and stuff, are they making room for right-wing terrorists, quote unquote, at Guantanamo? It's an interesting question, isn't it? The establishment media agrees that Biden's handlers freeing of Taliban Jihad Abdul Latif Nassar from Guantanamo, where he had been held for 19 years, was the first step toward taking care of more unfinished business from the Obama administration and finally closing the notorious prison camp that Obama closed during his time in office. Oh, wait. No, he didn't. But neither did President Trump. But Trump never said he was going to close it. But is that really the plan? Or might Guantanamo be filled up with a new group of terrorists? The signs aren't hard to find. CNN reported Wednesday that the Justice Department repeatedly has documented the emergence of what could be called small right-wing extremist groups. One of the examples offered in the report is that of Robert Morse, a Pennsylvania resident who was arrested in connection with the January 6th Reichstag fire. According to CNN, when Morse was arrested, police, quote, found in his car a notebook with a page titled, quote, Step by Step to Create a Hometown Militia, end quote. Beneath it, Morse allegedly scribbled bullet point reminders fleshing out the idea of forming a violent cell to bring an assault rifle and set up your kit, and notes on formation, double end quote. Then there was Ian Rogers and Jared Copeland, who were so devoted to former President Donald Trump and so angry about the 2020 election result that they allegedly plotted to blow up the Democratic headquarters building in Sacramento. One commented over an encrypted message thread where the two discussed planning that he realized they would be perceived as domestic terrorists, and the second man had previously joined an anti-government militia group. Whether these three men actually did anything criminal or planned to do so is a matter for the courts to decide, but ominously, a prosecutor wrote about the Rogers-Copeland case that, quote, all of the political and social conditions that motivated them to plan what they themselves described as a terrorist attack remain. What are those conditions? Raw Story gave a clue to the answer to that in a risibly hysterical piece Monday that began like this. A very particular cultish and dangerous brand of domestic terrorism has been honed, and we should call it what it is: Trumpist terrorism. We rarely have ever experienced domestic terrorism organized not only in the service of an ideology, white supremacy, but in the name of one person, a cult figure for whom people will kill and die, devoted to his cause and taking perceived orders from him. But that is what is happening now. I'm getting a lot of use out of that little button. Salon, unwilling to be outdone in the left's hysteria sweepstakes, added this on Wednesday at the end of a long piece smearing and demonizing Trump and his supporters in the most lurid terms. Quote, ultimately, there is no natural endpoint to the normalization of social and political deviance. It's so-called disagreeing with us. It is a bottomless pit, one into which America has all as a whole has fallen. Some Americans willingly threw themselves into the pit. Others have jumped in while wearing parachutes that have not opened. Many Americans were thrown into this bottomless pit by others. A few, the lucky, the wise, or those possessed of special insight, have avoided falling into the pit and remain poised on its edge, at least for now. Only collective action and commitment to the moral crusade can save American democracy now. The normalization of social and political deviance is a process meant to make that possible. I don't see anything all that hyperbolic about that. All right, so the alleged January 6th terrorist and other allegedly criminal Trump supporters were motivated by a political and social conditions that still exist. These conditions center around the devotion to Trump himself, and only a moral crusade can save the nation from this evil man and his minions. One would think that these people would have believed that America was saved from Trump when the vote counting was stopped in crucial swing states and resumed only after the observers were gone and the windows covered, and when old white Joe took the oath of office as president on January 20th. But no! The threat is still here, and it is us. Robert Greer, who served as the CIA station chief for Pakistan and Afghanistan, and later as director for the CIA Counterterrorism Center, made it clear when he declared in February, even at the seeming height of the crisis immediately after 9/11, there really weren't that many members of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, and the thrust of our campaign there was, yes, hunt down al-Qaeda, but primarily to remove the supportive environment in which they were able to live and flourish. That supportive environment is ordinary, unwoke Americans who don't want to be overwhelmed by authoritarian socialist nanny state. They provide the political and social conditions that the left sees as motivating Trumpist terrorism. What is to be done with these terrorist enablers? Well, there's a fully appointed prison camp in Guantanamo that soon will be empty. It would be perfect for those in the regime in Washington decides our Trumpist for those whom the regime in Washington decide are Trumpist terrorists. Was Abdul Latif Nassar freed to start making room for conservative Americans? It's crazy, ridiculous, absurd, and an obscene question, inconceivable just 7 months ago. Surely Biden's handler wouldn't go that far. Would they? That, my friends, is a fascinating question, isn't it? Shall we move on? Apparently, the IRS is still persecuting this Christian nonprofit organization. I don't know if this is a Lois Lerner thing, but This is in the New York Post. A decade after the Internal Revenue Service targeted conservative groups applying for tax-exempt status, the agency recently pulled a similar stunt with a faith-based organization named Christians Engaged. The IRS called it quits after a public backlash, but people and groups that are out of favor with the left should be wary of renewed government discrimination. Yeah, they should. The Christians Engaged saga is nearly 2 years running. In the fall of 2019, the outfit applied to the IRS for tax-exempt status as a nonprofit. This status would allow it to receive tax-deductible donations and more effectively fulfill its mission to, quote, awaken, motivate, educate, and empower ordinary believers in Jesus Christ, end quote. It is a nonpartisan organization that hopes to get people engaged in America's civic process, like countless other groups of that kind. Now, for most organizations, such applications are a routine affair, taking no more than 3 to 6 months, but it took the agency 18 months to deny the nonprofit request on the basis of a sinister argument. The IRS fixated on the group's Christian belief in the Bible, as the agency explained in its denial letter this year, quote, Bible teachings are typically affiliated with the Republican Party and the candidates, end quote. It also commented on the fact that several of the group's leaders are active members of the GOP. The agency interpreted these facts to conclude that Christians Engaged isn't entitled to a tax-exempt status. The move ignored the law and violated the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech and freedom of religion. Tax-exempt status is meant to protect people who advocate for the things they care about most, like biblical principles, regardless of their political affiliation, so long as they don't campaign for candidates or lobby for legislation at an unacceptable level. But denying Christian Engaged application, the IRS effectively said that a Christian group doesn't have the right to speak out in the public square on public issues. If the founders of Christians Engaged wanted to prove their organization isn't Republican, the IRS essentially said they would have to renounce God. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you can read the rest, but it's obvious that the IRS is still doing shenanigans based on political beliefs. And I know there's a lot of nonprofits that do political work, so I'm not sure what they were trying to do here. Anyway, in other news, Kevin McCarthy has decided to pull every Republican member of the January 6th committee. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said he would pull every Republican member of the House committee to look into the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol after Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi rejected the recommendation of Ohio Representative Jim Jordan and Indiana Representative Jim Bank. Two sources familiar told the Daily Caller. Well, he said it. He already said it the other day in a press conference. Anyway, Pelosi released a Wednesday statement 2 days after McCarthy selected a group of 5 Republicans to serve on the House Select Committee. McCarthy's Republican picks included Indiana Representative Jim Banks, Ohio Representative Jim Jordan, Illinois Representative Rodney Davis, North Dakota Representative Kelly Armstrong, and Texas Representative Tony Nels. Monday evening, the minority leader, this is Pelosi, Monday evening, the minority leader recommended 5 members to serve on the select committee. I have spoken with him this morning about the objections raised about Representatives Jim Banks and Jim Jordan and their impact their appointments may have on the integrity of the investigation. I also informed him that I was prepared to appoint Representatives Rodney Davis, Kelly Armstrong, and Tony Nels, and requested he recommend 2 other members, Pelosi said in the statement. With respect to for the integrity of the investigation, oh, you mean the Trump public flogging, that this is really what they want? With an insistence on the truth and with concern about statements made and actions taken by these members, I must reject the recommendations of Representative Banks and Jordan to the Select Committee. The unprecedented nature of January 6th demands this unprecedented decision, Pelosi added. Well, and then she announced in June she'd be making the committee, but McCarthy didn't have it. McCarthy's like, no, this is who we picked, and this is, you need to deal with it. Now, and now it's funny because, let's see, I think it's in the next article. Let's see, is this one? Oh, here's Jim Banks. Representative Jim Banks, vowing not to back down from investigating the security shortcomings that led to the attack on the Capitol. Notice what they said there. He wants to focus on the security shortcomings. Now, who had some influence on what kind of security measures were taken that day? That some of these security measures that were requested by certain executive branch member with funny hair that were rejected by a certain Speaker of the House and a certain majority leader of the Senate, Pelosi McConnell. That's what he wants to focus on. And apparently, since Pelosi said he was rejecting this particular person, maybe she doesn't want that looked into as stringently. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Representative Banks is vowing not to back down from investigating the security shortcomings that led to the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, despite Nancy Pelosi booting him from the committee. And then McCarthy ultimately opted to reject placing any Republicans on the panel, which is tasked with investigating the deadly riot. I think that's a mistake. I still think you got to get some people in there. Hey, you know what? So now, why does he put like Lauren Boebert or something or MTG? No, don't put them on it because that just will become a circus either way. But I think Jim Jordan is legitimately able to do investigations, and I'm sorry, that's what if the Republicans want, if they want a bipartisan committee, that's who they want on there. McCarthy ultimately opted to reject placing any Republicans on the panel, which is tasked with investigating the deadly riot. This is the New York Post. The deadly riot. When a pro-Trump mob attempted to disrupt the certification of the election results. Who wrote this? Julie Grace Buvicki, whatever her name is. They're still describing it as a deadly riot. Okay, the only people who died as a result of the riot was the person, one of the rioters. Anyway. Asserting that they would move forward with their own investigation, Banks, who was tapped by McCarthy to serve as a ranking member of the January 6th Select Committee, said Pelosi's decision proves that the Democratic intentions were politically motivated. Well, that's not surprise. It really made me angry. I served my country in Afghanistan, and she is saying that I am not up to playing a serious role on this January 6th committee, he told the Post on Wednesday. But it just goes to show all along, this was never a serious effort on their part. It's all a political witch hunt. They want to make this all about Donald Trump, dragging Republican members of Congress through the mud and attacking 75 million people that voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, I think that he's correct. And let's see, McCarthy confirmed to the Post that he plans to select Banks to head the separate GOP panel. So they're going to have a separate panel now. So you're going to have... Here's the thing, what's going to happen, though. The Democrats are going to come up with their report, finding ways to blame Donald Trump, and it'll get tons of news coverage, and they will be on all the Sunday morning talk shows. They'll be on every little analysis on CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and NBC and everywhere else, except maybe Fox News. And then the Republican panel will get a little bit of play on Fox News, but if you combine the audience of all those other outlets and all the New York Times and everyone else who are reporting what the Democrats say, saying that this was an insurrection when it really wasn't, it's just one of those things where Republicans aren't going to get the messaging they want unless they actually had members on the so-called select committee that Nancy Pelosi's putting together. So I think it's a mistake to pull all of them. Somehow I think, is Liz Cheney being added to that committee? I know that's who Nancy Pelosi wants because she's completely critical of the Republicans and also of what happened on January 6th, which everybody's critical of what happened on January 6th, just to different degrees. Anyway, it seems to me that this is not gonna go well for Republicans, although they will get their message out on the outlets that will feature these people. Anyway, now. Democrats have vehemently denied that Pelosi had any role in the delay in her response for additional law enforcement. Of course they... Oh my gosh. So they vehemently denied that Pelosi had any role in the delay in response for additional law enforcement to provide backup for Capitol Police on the day of the attack, arguing that Republicans taking aim at the speaker are attempting to whitewash the severity of the riot. Are they? Or are they trying to show that there was a delay based on the Speaker of the House and also possibly Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader? Because look, we know that Donald Trump requested more National Guard security 2 days before the event. Said he wanted to make sure there's more security out there. They denied it. Who denied it? I don't know. But somebody was able to deny the president's request for extra security on the day of this event. There were delays in getting reinforcement to those Capitol Police. Why? And who's responsible for that? Anyway, on January 6th, the speaker, a target of an assassination attempt that day, was no more in charge of Capitol security than Mitch McConnell was. And so they're both to blame then. This is a clear attempt to whitewash what happened on January 6th and divert blame, Pelosi spokesman Drew Hamill said in a statement. The speaker believes security officials should make security decisions. The speaker immediately signaled her support for the deployment of the National Guard when she was presented with that recommendation on the afternoon of January 6th. Public testimony confirms the fact that the speaker was not made aware of any request for such a deployment prior to then. I don't know about that either. Banks accused Democrats of avoiding calling certain witnesses who could provide critical information, taking aim at Representative Bernie Thompson, Democrat from Mississippi, the Pelosi-appointed chairman of the Select Committee, for allegedly not being open to GOP suggestions. I met earlier today with the head of the Capitol Police, who represents the rank-and-file members of the Capitol Police. They, the Select Committee, don't want him to appear on Tuesday. I wrote a letter this morning. I waited to fire it off to him. I did call Bernie Thompson yesterday and asked if Republicans would be given a chance to provide a witness, and he hemmed and hawed. He was very shaky on the phone, and now in hindsight, I realize that's because we were immediately going down a path they were very uncomfortable with. So that's why they don't want this particular representative, because he wants the head of the Capitol Police to testify. He wants, and there absolutely were, on that day we were hearing about it, that day, that there were supposedly requests for reinforcements, and they were denied by the Speaker's office and Mitch McConnell's office. Oh my gosh! I mean, those were in news reports, and people were wondering why were they delayed. So we probably should find that out, right? Do they want to find that out? It's tough to say. The Indiana Republican said in addition to asking about witnesses, Thompson did not answer his multiple requests. Oh, by the way, Benny Thompson. Are y'all familiar with Benny Thompson? He's what is he? Democrat from where again? I want to say from Mississippi. Benny Thompson was he's been around for a while. He was one of the Democrats who objected to the 2004 Electoral College. He was one of the Democrats who also did not want to certify the results in the 2016 election. Oh, this is a pot meat kettle moment. He said he believes Pelosi's picks to serve in the panel, which include Representative Zoe Lofgren, oh my God, Representative Pete Aguilar, Stephanie Murphy of Florida, Elaine Luria of Virginia, and Liz Cheney of Wyoming, were strategically chosen to fit a narrative. Banks took swing at Cheney for her decision to buck party lines and accept Pelosi's offer, a move that has sparked strong backlash from GOP colleagues. Yeah, she has a bone to pick with the GOP because they removed her as the, committee something chair or conference chair or whatever. I asked him, Thompson, will Republicans have resources for staffing? He hemmed and hawed about that. I asked him if we could delay the hearing next week so we'd have more time to prepare since they hadn't named our names yet, and he hemmed and hawed about that. He doesn't seem to be that serious of a leader. To be serious, you would have to share an effort like this and come up with something substantive or meaningful at the end of the day. And I think because Pelosi picked people to be on this panel that are going to do what she tells them to do, and that's why she picked Liz Cheney. Okay, we know about Cheney. Anyway, there's more of that. That's this is a shit show. All right, good news. The two Molotov cocktail throwing lawyers headed to trial after plea negotiations break down. This is actually well, I knew about this news about a week ago, but anyway, but they're going to stand trial. Remember, there's these two lawyers. They were in New York City, lawyers, mind you, who were caught firebombing a police car during the New York George Floyd riots. In June of 2020, during George Floyd riots in New York, two Ivy League educated lawyers allegedly firebombed a police car with a Molotov cocktail. Unlike the January 6 rioters, authorities released them on bail and home confinement. Well, isn't that special? Their lawyers have been trying to work out a plea deal with prosecutors. The talks have broken down, and now they're headed for trial. Good. This is two of thousands that may actually go to trial. Kevin Daly reports for the Washington Beacon. Ivy League lawyers headed to trial for firebombing a police car. Two New York City Ivy League lawyers will stand trial in March 2022 for allegedly firebombing a police cruiser and distributing They were distributing Molotov cocktails too. They were handing them out like it was drinks at a TGI Fridays during the George Floyd riots last summer. Defense lawyers for Collinford Mathis and Uruj Rahman have been in plea negotiations with federal prosecutors since February, but have not come to terms, prompting U.S. District Court Judge Brian Cogan to set a trial schedule for both defendants. Pretrial motions are due September 17th, and jury selection will begin March 14th, 2022. The accused enjoy widespread support and sympathy from New York's legal and media elites. Oh, shocker. Rahman is represented by one of the city's best defense attorneys, and former Obama administration official guaranteed her bail in the amount of $250,000. Both have been the subject of favorable profiles in New York Magazine and NPR, among other venues. Yes, people throwing Molotov cocktails and firebombing police cars are just heroes of the resistance, I gotta tell you. Anyway, Cogan has delayed proceedings 3 times while the parties discuss a protective plea. Those talks can continue as the case heads to trial. Mathis and Rahman are under house arrest with electronic monitoring. Ooh, you mean they're not in solitary confinement? Though they've each sought relaxed release conditions, Cogan was allowed Rahman to attend a bridal shower and a wedding in May, though he denied a bail modification that would have authorized her to move freely about 4 city boroughs during daylight hours. Mattis obtained permission to celebrate Christmas at a relative's home. Good. I hope they go to trial, and there's video of them It's not like they don't have evidence. There's video of them throwing Molotov cocktails inside a police car and setting it on fire. So, let them burn, so to speak. A lead FBI agent in Whitmer's kidnapping probe charged for assaulting his wife at a swingers party. Oh no! This is a guy that they also let out on $10,000 bail. But that grandma at the Capitol on January 6th that walked in through the open door, that's gonna serve time. Oh no, she got community service, but some of those people who just walked in and were just standing around taking selfies are gonna have jail time and had to wait in jail until their trials. But this guy, the FBI agent at the center of October 2020's kidnapping plot against Democratic Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, was charged Monday after a violent incident with his wife. Court records showed that Special Agent Richard Trask, 39, of Kalamazoo, is accused of jumping on his wife in bed and smashing her head against a nightstand after a dispute the couple got into after a swingers party that they both attended. according to the Detroit News. Trask was charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, according to the court records. Oh, isn't he a special-looking dude? He must have been undercover. Trask's wife told police that her husband had several drinks at the swingers party, which she said she did not enjoy. I did not enjoy any of that. Multiple penises, and that they argued about it on their way home, after which he allegedly grabbed the side of her head and smashed it several times at the nightstand. I think he got out on bail, though. I'm almost positive he got off like a $10,000 bail. Anyway, the affidavit also stated that Trask's wife had bloody lacerations on the right side of her head and blood all over her chest, clothing, arms, and hands, as well as severe bruising on her neck and throat. He was later arrested in the parking lot of a supermarket after he refused to give a statement about the incident. Trask has worked at the FBI since 2011 and served as the lead agent that infiltrated the militia group accused of attempting to kidnap Governor Whitler in October of 2020. The report also comes a day after BuzzFeed News reported that FBI informants played a larger role in the case than originally known. I'm pretty, yeah, and they said that he had gotten out on bail, but it doesn't say it in this article. So here, FTG, I know I've been lax on the FTGs today, but you know, FTG, Richard Trask, excuse me. Fuck that guy. I hope he, So the swingers party, never let your marriage consist of purely your and your partner's kink. Don't even imagine it as true. I hope the nightstand is okay, guys. That's harsh. All right, guys, I am way behind. So just a couple other things. Couple has been the couple that accidentally made a dangerous wildfire has been charged with involuntary manslaughter after a wildfire allegedly started during a gender reveal party. A couple involved in gender. Remember you were talking about gender reveal parties a while back? Well, this is the one. Couple involved in a gender reveal that allegedly led to a California fire last year were charged this week with involuntary manslaughter along with several other crimes. According to CBS News, authorities announced that the couple was charged with involuntary manslaughter as well as other felony and misdemeanor counts and pleaded not guilty. Refugio Manuel Jimenez Jr. and Angela Renee Jimenez pleaded not guilty Monday to charges involving the El Dorado fire. San Bernardino County District Attorney Jason Anderson announced at a news conference, the outlet reported. The charges include one felony count of involuntary manslaughter along with other felony and misdemeanor counts related to the fire. Apparently, they reported also that the couple each faces up to 20 years behind bars if convicted as charged. Desert Sun reported that the judge released them on their own recognizance despite prosecutors' requests that they each be held on $50,000 bail. The fire led to the death of firefighter Charlie Morton, who was a 14-year veteran hotshot firefighter with the San Bernardino National Forest. The fire also reportedly led to 13 injuries. So, these are the ones they had this. They had some kind of explosive device or something that blew whatever color stuff in the air. Let's see, the 26-year-old. Okay, and then there was another one that. The Daily Wire is also talking about another incident where in February, a 26-year-old Michigan man died after he was struck by shrapnel from a cannon being used at a baby shower. Another incident, debris made from a homemade explosive used for a gender reveal struck a woman in Iowa and killed her in October 2019. The craziness that they it's just getting so elaborate with these gender reveal parties that maybe we should just have people dial it back a bit. Let's stop using explosives and things that go boom, and maybe just have a sheet with that you could drop, and then there'll be some color thing behind it that can be part of the gender reveal, because people are going crazy. It kind of reminds me, how the prom, when kids ask someone to go to prom, there's a name for that, but anyway, those things are kind of getting stupid too, where they have these really elaborate ways of asking someone to go to prom with them. And now it's starting to happen with gender reveals. And like you see the marriage proposal ones where they have if you're going to do a gender reveal that's really elaborate, do one of those like, what do they call that? Crowd mob dance things. Do something like that. Don't use explosives. I'm just saying. Anyway, I got to go. The other things that are going to be in the tabs, there's an article from PJ Media that a New York supermarket chain has dropped Ben & Jerry's ice cream after their little boycott of certain parts of Israel. And so the, what's this called? Unilever has decided that Ben & Jerry needs to go. So they're no longer going to sell Ben & Jerry's. Good for them. Also, there's going to be this is one of those where we're going to start hearing about his emails. Apparently, Joe Biden used a private email account to send his son Hunter government documents. That's going to be poo-pooed in the media, but I'll give you an update on that one tomorrow. Also, the Department of Justice is putting proposing a 50-year gag on grand jury material to hide the Mueller report records. Now, this is fascinating to me for a couple reasons, because the left is going to be howling about this. Why are they protecting Trump? Why are they protecting Trump? I got a feeling there are some things in there that the government doesn't want you to know, not because it looks bad for Trump, but because it looks bad for them. So I'm going to read this one, and maybe we'll check on this one tomorrow. And then finally, there's also an FBI leaker the guy who accepted gifts from journalists and leaked stuff from the FBI. Apparently, there's some ways he could possibly be evading any consequences from that. Haven't done this story yet, so maybe we'll look at that one tomorrow. But they're in the tabs already today, for in the news tabs. Plus, everything we went through today will also be in the tabs. Real quick thank yous to, Dr. Keeve, Tyler F., Willett Forge, Jack Cochran, all the people who have shared the stream today. Please, before you do anything, before you leave the stream, hit the share button, hit the like button, do all that stuff. Looks like most of you already hit the like button, so thank you for that. Share the stream, put a comment in the comment section if you're watching a replay or going back to watch. Also, if you noticed, I am starting to put clips out again, just certain topics that we cover on the show as smaller clips. Those would be the ones that I would really like you to share if you see them. Obviously, some of you have already seen them because you watch the show, but they're interesting little clips that other people can watch, and maybe we'll get a few more people joining the show. If you're new here today, hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you get notifications, or just follow me on some of that social media. And also check out pdognight.live, where you can do sponsor the show. And also, I still have Fauci merch on there. I'm going to start upping my merch game, and we'll see how that goes. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for today. And I thank you all for being here. I noticed a bunch of people here. Chrome's in the house, Evan S. I see Don Julio made it. Fat Joe, what's up? Fight for Your Rights. I saw, let's see, who else had I seen in here? There's a bunch of people that dropped in. Zach Osborne, thank you for showing up. I appreciate y'all. And all the people are here early. That's great too. But that's it for today, people. Time for me to go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.